Hello, I'm Mike and this is Will. We are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we bring you issue 68 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol today. This issue came with the second half of our second Neophyte Hybrids unit for our Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol. So we'll get them painted up and see them in today's game. So looking through the issue, we actually have the painting guide for the hybrids again, so I'm just going to skim over it. It's basically exactly the same, although if you want both your squads to look different, you might choose to paint some details a little bit differently, just to make each squad stand out a little bit. But if you want to go for that mass horde look, you can just follow the guide and end up with essentially the same result. So there you can see our second squad. The loadout is the same, but again it might look slightly different on your end. And then we have some background on the Outrider Broods. So this is a subset of Genestealer Cults who specialise in reconnaissance and spying, making use of light vehicles or motorbikes that they're able to steal or repurpose. And they usually provide advance warning of counterattacks by the Imperium or any Imperial agents trying to spy on the cult. And they aren't just limited to information gathering, they can act as light armour or fast attack forces. So it gives you some examples such as the Achilles Ridge Runner, which are repurposed survey vehicles, ideal for long range reconnaissance. And then you have the Atalan Jackals, who are the motorbike or quad bike riders, generally run in packs, each led by an Alphas, and the Alphas will be the best rider, have the fastest bike, and be the best shot, and so on. And then we have part 16 of Bonds of Honour, which continues the Silver Templars' battle against the Orks and the result of their deal with the Leagues of Votan, as well as the fate of Brother Darian and Sergeant Askerton. But now I'll hand you over to Will, who can take us into today's game.
So before we get to our game for the Neophytes, we have another couple of campaign scenarios, adding some more matchups for the Genestealer Cults. The first up we have against the Eldari on Display of Might, and then the outcomes for those, and then against the Chaos Space Marines on Clash of Patrols. We'll probably get to those matchups eventually, but the scenario for this issue is called Overrun, where a Genestealer Cult uprising has been complicated by the arrival of an Ork Waaagh, which is going to make their plans rather difficult to accomplish. But the cultists are nothing if not fanatical and will gladly give their lives against the overwhelming horde if commanded to do so. So the battlefield will be set up as shown on the map that we'll see in a minute. There's 4 terrain cards placed. As usual, neither side may take any enhancement stratagems or secondary objectives, but the Genestealer Cults player does get to use their Cult Ambush faction ability, as was presented in the previous issue. The Genestealer Cults player has 2 units of 10 Neophyte Hybrids. They have 2 deployment zones and they place 1 in each. Again, that will be shown over the page. The Ork player gets the Deff Dread, and that goes in their deployment zone, and the Orks take the first turn. So here is the battle map. We're using the Wasteland side of Battle Map 1. There are 4 terrain pieces deployed as shown here. Not necessarily these ones, because you can use any of the ones with the keywords that were listed oblique. The Ork deployment zone is in the centre, so that's where the Deff Dread goes, and there are 2 Genestealer Cult deployment zones in opposite corners of the board. If the winner is the one with the most victory points, the Ork player scores 4 victory points at the end of each Genestealer Cult's turn for which the Deff Dread is within a Genestealer Cult's deployment zone, while the Genestealer Cult player scores 20 victory points if the Deff Dread is destroyed. And there's a reminder here of how Cult Ambush works, and because of course these are Neophyte Hybrids and therefore a battle line unit, they add 3 to the roll when rolling to come back with Cult Ambush, so they'll always come back effectively because they'll always roll 4+ with that modifier. And the wording of the faction ability is that in a combat patrol game it cannot be used in turns 4 and 5, but this isn't really a combat patrol game, and so we're going to let them come back in the final couple of turns as well. We can always discuss if there's balance implications for that, but we'll see how the game goes. And then of course on the final page we have the victory outcomes as usual. So we'll get the board set up and get into the game, and we'll probably have a couple of goes at this scenario just to see whether it's actually possible for the Genestealer Cults to take out the Deff Dread and how difficult it will be. So here we are. We rolled randomly for pieces of terrain and got 3 line of sight blocking and 1 crater, and there are 2 units of Neophyte Hybrids in the opposite corners as you can see, with the Deff Dread in the middle. In the top right corner is our new unit of hybrids. They obviously have the same loadout, but some of the models are a little bit different.
Yeah, and I've jammed them into the corner, try and make the Deff Dreads charge as hard as possible.
And then of course the other unit of hybrids in the bottom left corner. But the Orks do get to go first, so we'll be on to Orks turn 1. And the Deff Dread's going to go towards the new unit of Neophyte Hybrids, and it can shoot its rocket launcher at them. D3 plus 2 shots, because blast, and there are 10 of them. So 3 shots, hitting on 5s. Oh, triple 6. And wounding on 2s. They all wound, they're minus 2 AP.
Yeah, so that's 3 dead.
3 with firearms go down, and then it will declare a charge. And it rolls a 7, which should be enough. So it does make it in, and it has 6 attacks which hit on 3s. 4 hits, wounding on 2s, 3 wounds, and these are minus 2 as well, so that will just eviscerate another 3.
Just the champion and the 3 special weapons still alive, and they get to hit back. Regular Neophytes on 4s. They all hit. Wounding on 6s. No. Champion on a 4. Hits. 6s. No.
But that's it for Ork turn 1, on to Genestealer Cults turn 1.
So I need a battle shock test for the Neophytes that are in combat. They're battle shocked. I'm going to leave the Neophytes in combat because if they get killed I can just bring them back. While the other units advance, only got 2 inches and they might eventually get over to be able to see the Deff Dread. The Neophytes in combat do have pistols, so I'll roll them all together because they're all going to be wounded on 6s. So on 4s, 2 hits, 6s, wound.
2 plus save. Saved. Then straight to melee where the Deff Dread gets to go first again, on 3s. 5 hits, 2s to kill. 4 is enough.
So because those Neophytes died, I get to place a cult ambush marker. Normally I'd have to roll a dice, but I can't fail to roll a 1. So I'll put the cult ambush marker there, because the Deff Dread has a maximum move of 14, and I think there it's just over 23 inches away. So if it does get a good advance roll, it can't end its move within 9 of the marker and remove it.
And the Orks do gain 4 victory points because the Deff Dread is in one of the Genestealer Cult deployment zones. But that'll be the end of Genestealer Cults turn 1, on to Orks turn 2. Well, the victory points don't really matter anymore now because having got 4, the Orks can only lose if the Deff Dread is destroyed. So it's going to come into the middle of the board where it can see the other unit of Neophyte Hybrids.
And then in the reinforcement step of the Orks turn, the unit of Neophytes arrives, and they arrive with at least 1 model touching the marker, and the rest I've deployed using the most of my coherency to get them closer to the Deff Dread.
And then the marker is removed. Then the Deff Dread will shoot at the unit of Hybrids that didn't just arrive. D3 plus 2 shots, 3. Hitting on 5s, only 1 this time. Wounds on 2. It did. It's -2, but some of them will have cover.
So we'll have a 6+. No, lose 1.
But that'll be it. No possibility of charging, so on to Genestealer Cults turn 2.
So the original unit of Neophyte Hybrids is moved up so we can get the Weber in range, and some of them get rapid fire range, while the new unit is staying where it is so I get heavy on the seismic cannon. Start with the Weber, which is D6 automatic hits for 1. Wounds on a 6, but it's got devastating wounds. Ooh, not quite. Then the seismic cannon has 6 shots because it's in rapid fire range on 5s. Getting 2. Wounding on 5s. Nope. 17 shots from firearms and pistols and the heavy stubber on 4s. 6 hits wounding on 6s. We got a wound.
2 plus. Yep.
And then the other unit also shooting at the thing, but minus the Weber and the leader's pistol. Seismic cannon is 4 shots on 4s. Nope. And 12 shots from the heavy stubber and firearms on 4s. 6 hits, looking for 6s. Nothing.
And that's it for Genestealer Cults turn 2. No victory points for the Orks, it's not in the deployment zone. And on to Orks turn 3. Deff Dread's close enough to get an inch away from these hybrids. We'll shoot the rockets at the other squad though, because I get an extra shot because they're still at full strength. D3 plus 2, still only 3. Hits once. Blows 1 up. I can't fail its charge, but I will roll it because if it can get round the back of them, be closer to the other ones. Not with a 5. Well, we can still go a little bit of the way towards them. And it has 6 shots. Attacks on 3s. Only 3 hits, wounding on 2s. 3 wounds, and 3 more dead.
And we get to hit back. 5 regular guys on 4s. 2 hits, wounding on 6s. No. And the champion hits, wounds on a 6. No.
That'll be it. Straight on to Genestealer Cults turn 3.
The Neophytes that are in combat will fall back, and the other unit will just stand and shoot at the Deff Dread. 6 shots from the seismic cannon on 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 5s. We got a wound at -1.
3 plus save. Oh, failed.
Oh, D3 damage. 3.
Oh, down to 5 wounds remaining.
And we've got a Weber with 3 automatic hits. Wounding on 6s, which are devastating. Ooh, a devastating wound.
Down to 4.
17 shots from everything else on 4s. 7 hits, wounding on 6s. We got a wound.
2 plus. Just. But that'll be it. End of Genestealer Cults turn 3. No more points for the Orks. On to Orks turn 4. Well, we'll move towards the depleted squad, because getting rid of seismic cannons I think is the way to survive this. We'll shoot at them as well. D3 plus 1 shots, 4. 1 hit. 2 to wound, no. And charge roll, yeah. Charging to there, so if it does manage to kill them all, it can consolidate into the other squad. 6 attacks on 3s, all hit. Wounding on 2s, kills them all. And then consolidating does bring it within 1 inch of the other unit. But a unit was destroyed, so a cult ambush marker can be placed.
I'm going to put it down at the opposite end of the board to give clear line of sight on the Deff Dread, and even if it falls back in the next turn, it won't be able to get in range of it. So 1 guy at the back can't get in to fight it. 7 regular guys on 4s, 3 hits, wounding on 6s. Oh, we got a wound.
2+, saved.
And the leader, hit, doesn't wound.
So that's the end of Ork's turn 4, so on to Genestealer Cult's turn 4.
I'm going to stay in combat and just shoot with my pistols. 9 of them, I'll roll them all together because they're all AP 0 and wounding on 6s. 5 hits, 2 for 6s. We've got another wound.
2+, yes. Deff Dread gets to fight first. On 3s, 5 hits. Looking for 2s, 4 wounds. 5 left, they get to hit back.
4 normal guys, getting 3 hits. No wounds, and the boss hits, doesn't wound.
But that's it for Genestealer's turn 4. On to Ork's turn 5. So no movement from the Deff Dread, but then in the reinforcement step the other unit of hybrids will arrive.
Again, trying to get the seismic cannon as close as possible to the Deff Dread.
Then in the shooting phase the Deff Dread can shoot at them because it can shoot out of melee with its blast weapon. D3 plus 2, 3. Hitting on 6s. Oh, 2 hits. 2s. Kills 1. Then the cultists get to hit it in melee first though.
Regular dudes on 4s, getting 2 hits. And a wound.
2+. Rolled off for 1.
And the boss hits. So close.
6 attacks in return on 3s. 4 hits winning on 2s. 3 dead. So 2 left, but that's the end of Ork's turn 5. On to Genestealer Cult's turn 5.
Battle shock to the 2 remaining Neophytes, they're fine. 2 Neophytes that were in combat will fall back. The other Neophytes will move forward to get the Weber and the seismic cannon in rapid fire range. And we'll do the seismic cannon, 6 shots on 5s. 2 hits, wounding on 5s. Nothing. Weber, 4 hits. Looking for 6s. Ooh, 2 devastating wounds.
Down to 2 wounds remaining.
17 shots from other guns on 4s. 13 hits, looking for 6s. None. And I guess we'll try and charge because it's our absolute last chance to actually do anything.
We didn't catch it on camera, but it was actually an 11-inch charge, so they are in.
Now they can all get in. 8 normal boys. 5 hits, looking for 6s. We got a wound.
2+. I'll save.
And the boss, 2 hits. And doesn't wound.
And the last rolls again. We might as well do its attacks back. Gets 4 hits. Only kills one of them with some poor rolls there. But, well, they got close. Got it down to 2 wounds. Slightly better rolling here or there might have made the difference. But that one at least will end in an Ork's victory. But we'll set it up and give it another go, because it might well be possible for the Genestealer Cults, just with a couple of different outcomes. So we've put everything back basically the same way as it was before, and the Deff Dread can go first. So Ork's turn 1. We're going to go this way this time, so we're showing a slightly different part of the board. And D3 plus 2 rockets. 5. Hitting on 5s. 1. It does wound. And its charge... Oh, it fails. That's actually quite important, because it means that there'll be an extra round of shooting against it. That'll be its turn then. On to Genestealer Cult's turn 1.
So my only movement is the squad in the top right corner who are moving out to see the Deff Dread.
So the other unit's staying stationary, so they can fire at maximum effect.
I'll do the unit that moved first. Shots on 5s with the seismic cannon. 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. Nope. 11 shots from other guns on 4s. And 6s. Ooh, 2 wounds.
2s to save. Made them.
And then the other squad that hasn't moved. 6 shots with the seismic cannon on 4s. 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. 2 wounds at -1.
3s. Made them.
We've got Weber. 6 shots. No 6s. 17 shots from other guns. 9 hits. Looking for 6s. Ooh, 4 wounds.
2s from these. Oh, there's a 1. Down to 7.
And I think I will charge just to keep it out of the deployment zone. 10-inch charge.
So that is blocking it off from getting into the Genestealer deployment zone.
As long as it doesn't mince them all. 8 attacks from regular dudes. 6 hits with a wound.
2 to save. Yep.
And the boss missed.
And 6 hits back on 3s. They all hit. 2s to wound. 4 ones. Only kills 2. So not a great showing there. And with that, we'll be on to Ork's turn 2. Well, it might as well stay in melee and shoot rockets backwards at the other squad, because if it falls back, it can't do anything at all. That still won't take it any closer to a deployment zone. D3 plus 2 shots. 4. Hitting on 6s, because we're in melee. Oh, 3 6s. 2s to wound. 2 wounds. There will definitely be people in cover, though.
6s to save. No, 2 dead.
And then straight to combat, where the cultists get to hit it first.
6 regular dudes. Didn't get any wounds though. And the boss missed.
And claws in return. Only 2 hits, it's not doing very well. And it rolled 1, so it only kills another one. And that's that already. It's still not in a Genestealer deployment zone, and it's beyond Genestealer Cult's turn 2.
In my movement phase, the Neophytes in combat have fallen back, while the other unit has moved to get the Weber in range and the seismic cannon in rapid fire range. Those are the important guns, really. So, seismic cannon, 5 shots on 5s, 6 shots on 5s, but they all miss. The Weber hits 4 times, wounds on 6s, nope. 11 shots from everyone else, 5 hits, wounded on 6s, maybe got a wound.
2 to save, just about. And that'll be it for Genestealer Cults turn 2. On to Orks turn 3. Well, the Deff Dread's going to move to there, so that it's going to be difficult for the other arriving unit to see it, but it does put it in the Genestealer Cults deployment zone, because it doesn't matter how many cultists I kill, if I don't actually get any points, then it can only ever be a draw. So it has to stay there until the end of Genestealer Cults turn, but it can shoot that unit of 6. D3 plus 1, 3 shots on 5s, a hit, which wounded. That's the end of the Ork turn. On to Genestealer Cults turn 3.
My only movement again is the larger unit is moved so that some of them can see, and the seismic cannon and the Weber can see just about, and the other unit's going to stay where it is. Taking it with the unit that moved, so 6 shots on 5s for the seismic cannon. Still can't hit anything. The Weber, 2 hits. Nope. 8 shots from other guns. 4 hits, and they got a wound.
With a 2+. Yes.
And the squad that hasn't moved, seismic cannon, hits 4 times. Wounding on 5s. Well, we got a wound at -1.
3+. Failed.
All D3 damage. 2.
Down to 5.
The Weber, 6 hits. Wounding on 6s. All 2 devastating wounds.
Down to 3.
9 shots from everyone else. 3 hits with no wounds.
So the Deff Dread is down to 3 wounds, but does get 4 points on the board as we head into Orks turn 4. Moving into the middle of the 2 units. We'll shoot at the larger one behind it. D3 plus 1 times, 2 on 5s. Oh, a hit. And a wound. I guess there is actually one in cover.
Yeah, there's a guy on the edge of the crater who's not important, who dies.
Then we'll charge the smaller unit. Don't need to roll, it'll be in. We'll be just out of range to consolidate into the other squad if I do kill them. That's a good start, no misses. And yes, it gets them all. But they do get to place a cold ambush marker.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it over there so it's too far away for the Deff Dread to get towards it.
Well, that'll be the end of Orks turn 4, on to Genestealer's turn 4.
Well, those guys are just going to stand and shoot at it. Seismic cannon, 6 shots on 4s, 4 hits, wounding on 5s. Nothing. Weber, 5 hits. 2 mortal wounds.
Down to 1.
13 shots from everybody else on 4s. 9 hits, looking for 6s. There's 4 6s in there.
Needs to make all its 2+ saves. Oh, there's a 1. It dies. It might explode on a 6. No, it didn't. Yeah, and that takes out the Deff Dread, getting 20 victory points. So it is possible for the Neophyte Hybrids to win this game. So having proved that, I think we'll leave it there and recap that for you now. So those were a couple of playthroughs of the game from issue 68 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine. How did you think that went?
They actually ended up being closer than I thought they'd be. I don't know how interesting it would be to watch. Hopefully it was, because it's just going to be lots of rolling and hoping to wound on 6s, because the Neophytes really aren't equipped for fighting Deff Dreads. In a real game, you'd use grenades and mining lasers to hurt them. Though the Webers probably did most of the damage, actually. I'd have expected the seismic cannons, but I think only 2 wounds from those ever got through.
Yeah, well, being AP-1 means that it's still saving on the 3, so you've still got to get lucky. Unless it gets to stand still and get 6 shots on 4s, it's still only wounding on 5s and then -1.
It's the best gun they have equipped. It's not an anti-vehicle weapon. Yeah, and we also realised fairly quickly that once the Deff Dread gets any victory points, they might as well stomp about killing things.
Yeah, as long as it gets more than 0, it wins as long as it doesn't get destroyed. It can't be a draw 20-20 because it would be the final Genestealer Cults turn where the Deff Dread is in their deployment zone at the end of the turn, meaning that it wasn't destroyed. It could technically be a 0-0 draw. Perhaps in terms of likely outcomes, that's actually the best one the Genestealer Cults can play for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could try and bog the Deff Dread down with bodies, but it goes first. It's quite easy for it to just move and charge, especially if you deployed it at the edge of its deployment zones. It could probably get in quite easily. And we did get to see Cult Ambush, or at least the Combat Patrol version of it, although on a board this size, it's kind of annoying to use, because technically the Deff Dread can move quite fast.
Yeah, Cult Ambush in this instance really just functioned as you get a free unit of Neophytes back. Obviously there's a lot more nuance to it when you have multiple units that might die, that may or may not come back, and the fact you can put a marker down and then choose which unit you put there, and the fact your opponent can theoretically get rid of them by moving closer to them.
Yeah, it's also worth remembering that if you lose the marker, then that's an entire unit you're not going to be getting back. But yeah, more Neophytes, again, fine. They're the same kit. There are enough parts to make them all unique, and you can take them in units of 20 normally. And I've magnetised my heavy stubbers and an extra member of the squad to take grenade launchers, because they can have 2 special and 2 heavy weapons.
And it is a bit disappointing that both units in the Combat Patrol are equipped the same. It's because they want the Combat Patrol to be for beginners, and so the loadout reflects what's on the box art, rather than having an alternate loadout. But because it is the Combat Patrol and the loadout is fixed, I don't think many opponents would mind if you made the second squad with different weapons. For example, give one the grenade launcher, and then for Combat Patrol just say, well, the guy with the weapon that isn't a firearm is the Weber. It's a grenade launcher model, but because the loadout is fixed, there's no confusion really.
Or build a grenade launcher and a Weber or a flamer.
Or have a flamer and a grenade launcher model that just counts as a firearm in Combat Patrol because it doesn't have any rules. And it means that you could have those models that you could use in a wider army. Similarly with the mining laser, well, it doesn't look that much different from a seismic cannon, so as long as it's clear that it isn't the heavy stubber, then a bit like how for the leader, actually because his weapons are just very generic, you can actually equip it with any of the several options. It doesn't actually matter. So you've given the second squad leader a power maul and a bolt pistol, which have the same rules as the other ones.
Yeah, I think there's also a chainsword and an auto pistol.
And because every other model also has an option for shotgun or an auto gun, you can make the second squad look distinct, even if their loadout isn't.
Yeah, and I think some of the arms and bodies are meant to be paired up, because 4 of the squad are Gen 3 hybrids, so they do have a slightly different profile on arms that you need, because they've got the more monstery look, but you can mix and match most of them. And obviously it's really good value for money, because it's a 10-man unit, and Genestealer Cult is one of the more expensive armies to collect. Their units are quite cheap, so you'll need a lot of models.
But anyway, I think that'll do it for this video. So let us know what you thought in the comments below. We need to finish the Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol, so we should be able to see it on the field fairly soon. Do feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. There'll be more to come. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.